G'day guys, my name is Wildcard, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for following my contents, I really do appreciate it. England versus Ireland, round 4, Six Nations. One team will walk out of Twickenham with the championship dream still alive, and the other will have to go home and get bashed by the media, okay? And that's just the way it's gonna be. You know, one will go home, one's gonna walk out a winner. If it's a draw, then they're both losers, okay? So draw is absolutely the worst for both teams. So yeah, this is as good as it gets. Huge game coming up. Going into this game, there has been a few changes for both teams as a result of injuries and just selections. The Irish side has made a number of changes. I thought it's a little bit, you know, we'll have a look at the reports. So essentially, Ireland has opted out Mac Hansen in the backline, the Australian guy. Yeah, Australian guy who played exceptionally well, I thought, in the first few rounds for Ireland. And then he's completely out of the squad, out of the starting 23. So he's completely out. And also the biggest loss for Ireland is Andrew Porter, the loose head prop. Super high work rate, super agile loose head prop, really good at getting those breakdowns, getting those carry forward for the Irish team. He's out. So yeah, that's another thing, big issue for Ireland then. A big advantage that Ireland has on the field. He's out. And then Johnny Sexton makes his return at number 10 jersey. Once again, from Irish last performance in Ireland, against Italy, despite it was against Italy and against 13 player, Johnny Sexton came on in the second half. Ireland definitely look a lot better, a lot more structured. And yeah, it's just one of those things. Johnny Sexton's just, has that, synergy that he's able to create, that leadership he's able to bring once he's on the field. So big return for Ireland, but also some losses on the back end. England has a bit of a niggling injury issues going to this game, but overall they managed to keep their team pretty much intact from what they really wanted to, basically from the team that they would prefer to run. Sinclair has a bit of a back injury, but he was clear to play, so he's made the selections. Don Brandt, Alex Don Brandt, the number 8, he was tested positive, so he literally just cleared to be able to play as well, so he's gonna come off the bench as well. Luke Cowan-Dickey, probably the biggest one, he's out for the rest of the tournament from an injury, so Jamie George will be starting at hooker position for England. And that is probably the biggest loss for England as well, also in the front row. Going to this game, the weather is going to be dry. Maybe a little bit dewy on the ground because it's been raining in the previous days. But it's going to be, on the day it's going to be dry. It's going to be good. Twickenham, as good as he gets. Bring it on. So this match, there is some very interesting stuff going on in this match. So first up, this is going to be a match that's heavily contested in the forward pack. At the breakdown speed is going to be absolutely critical for both teams. Scrummaging, I think, will be pretty even, and set pieces will be pretty even as well. But the main thing out of this game is the mobility of the forwards, getting to the breakdown, getting to help support this backline, carry the ball forward. Huge for both teams. England's last round's performance against Wales was exceptionally well. The forwards really disciplined, really high work rate, carried the ball really well. Probably the main thing is like I just mentioned, the discipline. Unlike the year before, England's discipline has drastically improved, and their defense has drastically improved as well. As a result, England is really hard to crack, and it's a team that's more than happy to belt you for 80 minutes and take points when it's on offer when you make a mistake. So that's the kind of strategy that England's going to bring. The breakdown is going to be key. Ireland has more of a running game that they would like to play, especially with their forwards. They like that quick ball on the breakdown. They like that structured attack, having those pots set up quickly and being able to flood the 10 channel, the 12 channel with the big forward pack. If England can reduce the speed on the field there, that's probably that is going to be the key for the England side to manage this game. So in the front rowers, with Andrew Porter out, Cian Healy comes in at number 1 position. I do think Cian Healy really not quite as informed as, despite being the veteran, not quite informed as Andrew Porter, especially when it comes to the work rate, to the breakdown speed. Ellis Genge, absolutely spectacular, really exceptionally high work rate for the England side. Kyle Sinclair has a bit of niggling injuries, but the tight head battle here is quite important. Ty Furlong is also one of the hard-running carry forward pack props that Ireland, brings a lot of value to Irish team outside of just his exceptional scrummaging. Jamie George, for the England side, is probably the runner in the four pack. He is starting to make a name for himself as a runaway try scorer nowadays. But yeah, Jamie George has done exceptionally well. Really good line out. I thought he deserved to be starting over Cowan Dickey. But this is this Eddie Jones preferred him on the bench, in my opinion. Maori Itoje, Charlie Hughes comes in at 4 and 5. Bit of swap between the two. Maori Itoje moves from 4 to 5, and so on. Charlie Hughes goes down to moves down to 5th jersey. Unchanged for the Irish side. So the Irish changes are based on obviously against French, not against the Italy team, because that makes no sense. So unchanged against the French side. Ty Burns at number 4. James Ryan comes in at number 5. The loose forward battle. This is the key. This is the most important area for the sides. Courtney Laws comes in number 6. The captain, ever since his return, he's managed the game quite well. So I was pretty impressed for what he's able to bring for the team. Tom Curry, I think he had a bit of a concussion or something. He had to get cleared before he was able to play, but he's cleared to go at number 7. Sam Simmons comes in at number 8. Again, really strong carry forward. Something that Alex Don-Brum brings as well. So he was on the bench against Wales. He's brought up to the starting position, maybe because Don-Brum's illness. For the Irish side, Peter O'Mahony, this is a surprising selection, gets put up to the 6th jersey from the bench. And what is his name? Jack Conan gets put on the bench. So this is something I'm not really sure what's understanding. I had a look at the stats. Can't see too much of an issue with Jack Conan's performance. He does look like he's a little bit behind in terms of work rate, behind Van der Fleer and Keelan Doris, but it's not really like glaring issue with him in the position. So bring on Peter O'Mahony again. I felt Peter O'Mahony probably a little bit past his prime. I do feel like Jack Conan is probably the better option here. I'm not really sure what's going on here. So if you quickly have a look at the stats here, right? You can see that the English 4-pack, this is England against Wales, actually has better run meter. Like Alex Don-Brum, 96 run meters. Also, like the tackle count here is just insane. Like pretty good. Like absolutely almost no mistakes is made in the England defense from their 4-pack. Some exceptional meters gained, run meters that brought from the 4-pack. Ellis Genge as well as a loose prop. Huge run meters from him. And then if we look at, in comparison, this is against France. So the Jack Conan, again, there's not much of an issue here. His work rate is a little bit lower than his teammates. I don't really see why this is. 8 is still there. But the big thing that I've noticed is that the run meters is actually lower compared to the English forwards. So if you look at, this is Andrew Porter, by the way. So Andrew Porter is actually one of the more active runners for the team. If you look at Ken Heatley, he does not touch the ball when he comes to, and then again, he comes on for like 10 minutes in the second half. So this is not really a true reflection of his performance. But again, it's surprising to me how England actually, you can clearly see that the run meter is higher for the England side, all right? The England 4-pack. The England actually has a higher work rate in terms of carrying running game, and then the mistake as well, just so it's actually very close in terms of the mistakes, but just this is obviously they're against different opponents, but this is the battle of the two teams. Whichever 4-pack will come out on top, being able to set up the platform for the backs is the team that's going to win this match. So have a look at the backs. The big return for Johnny Sexton for not Wales, for Ireland, as we see here. So once again, the number 10 is an issue for Ireland's side. The biggest thing, Johnny Sexton, I find him better than Joey Carberry, is his ability to utilize his centers and utilize his forwards. So him being able to link up with Bundy Aki and Gary Ringrose, being able to find those players in the right places and, organize those players in the right spots is really the difference between Johnny Sexton and Joey Carberry. And with Johnny on the field, the synergy that he creates, with the players around him is just, really, really important. One of the big difference between the England backs and the Irish backs is their kicking option. So England has an additional kicking option that Irish don't have, is at the 12 position. So Henry Slade actually does kicking from time to time, depending on the situation. Outside of, your typical number 9 doing the box kicks, number 10 doing your general kicks, and then your fullback doing the return kicks, England actually has Henry Slade. This is something that Eddie Jones loves to do, having so-called the second 5'8", something that the Southerners don't do more, like us people down back in Australia will like to do this a lot. Having a second 5'8" as a second, basically the second person that can direct attack options. So as a result, you can see on the stats, the Irish backline, right? This is meters kicked. Like the backline, nobody does any kicking, right? Like it's just the centers does not kick the ball. Whereas if you look at England, meters kicked, everybody kicks except for Max Mellon, right? Basically, everybody's a kicking option. With Elliot Daly on the bench, I don't think Joey Merchant will be doing kicking, so maybe this option is gone. But it's pretty obvious that Henry Slade is an additional kicking option that England like to employ. So that's something to watch out for the matchup. And yeah, so the kicking game, I mean, Ireland don't really like play that, but England really has shied away from the kicking game as well, but they really likes to use the kicking game to manage the game when it's tight, like they did with Wales. So if the game is close, you will be expecting to see a little bit more kicking from England than if the game is in control. That's generally what I've noticed. So backline, Harry Randall stays number 9, Jamison Gibson Park number 9 for Ireland, Marcus Smith number 10. Johnny Sexton, the veteran, the huge difference between, over 13 years difference between the two number 10s. Comes in number 10 for Ireland. Jack Noel comes in number 11 for England side. James Lowe comes in number 11 for Ireland. Henry Slade, like I mentioned, number 12 for England. Joey Merchant, interesting selection, number 13 over, what's his name? Daly. Elliot Daly gets put on the bench. Gary Ringrose, Bundyaki, 12-13 combination for the Irish side. Max Mellon comes in at 14, unchanged. Andrew Conway, unchanged at number 14. And Freddie Stewart, the goalkeeper, stays number 15. Hugo Kinnan, number 15 as well. So this is an interesting matchup overall. In the bench, Jamie Blair comes in number 16. Joe Marler, number 17. Will Stewart, number 17. Jamie Blair obviously comes in for the injured Luke Cowan-Dickey, but Joe Marler and Will Stewart, pretty solid players to bring off the bench for the 4-pack for the scrummaging. Rob Herring, Dave Kilcoyne, I don't know how to say it, are the two new additions for the Irish side. And Finlay Bellum stays at number 18 for the tight head position in the reserves. So 2 veteran props comes off the bench for Ireland. Again, the speed at the breakdown, the speed is going to be really, really important. And I do feel like the Irish 4-pack with Andrew Conway injured really lacks that little bit of a speed at the breakdown that they are used to have. Will Stewart comes in number 18 for England. Joe Longbury comes in for England, number 19. I've already mentioned Will Stewart. Anyway, Alex Dombrandt comes in number 20. Jack Conan moves down to the bench for the number 20 jersey for Ireland. Ian Henderson, number 19. I thought Ian probably could get a start at some point now, but he's still on the bench for number 19. Maybe there's the number 20 jersey here is quite important. 2 really important finishes for the both teams. So whoever comes on and does a better performance will probably close out the game for their team. So this is a really, really important 2 players on the 20 jersey there. Ben Youngs, the most capped England player, 21. Conor Murray, again, another veteran for Irish side, number 21. George Ford, the former England number 10, comes in at number 22. Joey Carberry, the injury backup for Johnny Sexton, comes in number 22. Elliot Daly, 23, probably be moving into centre when he comes on the field. Robbie Henshaw for Ireland, closing out the final selection for the team. So yeah, this game, if to be honest, I think England's gonna win this one because Ireland, as much as we have this idea, this concept of Ireland been awesome after they beat, Wales, and following last year's performance against what do you call it? Against the All Blacks. The Irish performance has been really inconsistent, and also the changes in the 4-pack. I do feel like it's a massive, it's gonna be a massive roadblock for the Irish team to wanted to execute that game plan of that free-flowing running rugby that they wanted to play. And I do think that England's kicking game has a little bit of an edge with Henry Slade able to kick at 12. And I do think that the English 4-pack is a little bit more agile with with Peter Romani and Cian Healy. I do feel like, no disrespect to the two veterans, I do feel like the England 4-pack is a little bit more agile and he's able to really get that dominance that they wanted up front. And also England's game against Wales last week, 2 weeks ago, was exceptionally well. That was a excellent English performance. Almost perfect game management. Under pressure from Wales, still able to, stay composed, stick to the course, and close down the game over probably one of the best Welsh performances I've ever seen in the second half. So England was still able to close that out with a win. Just excellent game management. I think that's really going to be the difference between the two teams. The 4-pack and the slight edge in the kicking game. And also obviously at home Twickenham, I think England's going to take this one. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Thank you for watching this video. I do appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe, yada yada yada. I'll see you guys for the review. Cheers.